Hello and welcome to the Crafty Diamond. I am Debbie. Today is my weekly whip and chat, and if you are not familiar with what that is a work in progress. I am going to be working on this diamond painting. This is from Mandy Manzano, Diamond Art Club, and it is called The Fairest of Them All. I've gotten a good portion done. These are round drills. There's 45 different colors. This is what the thumbnail looks like. And this one is very old. Unfortunately, these are no longer available unless you find them on a DStash or possibly on eBay, and sometimes they go for a pretty hefty price. I've had this since 2022, and I have a lot of feelings about this one. It is very nostalgic. It is a little gappy, but this was before all the upgrades to Diamond Art Club, and I can certainly appreciate now what all that Diamond Art Club has done throughout the years. But I am really excited to be working on this one again. And so I'm going to rearrange this and let's get started. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start with 310. I tend to like to do that when I am working on outlines. And Mandy Manzano is known for these outlines. And really, so is Hannah Lynn. And this is just one of my favorite ways to diamond paint. I just love doing the outlines. I just replenished my putty. So how is everybody doing? How was your weekend? I would love to know. Did you have any plans or did you get anything accomplished? I had a busy weekend basically doing things around the house. I was very productive this weekend. I was really surprised, to be honest, that I had gotten so much done. But on Saturday, I got up rather early and I started in and I worked in the house all day. I cleaned from top to bottom, and I had Paige help me a little bit. She had some chores that she had to do. We always make sure that, she's helping out. And then I also cleaned out our closet. For those of you that might be new or you haven't watched in a while, we have recently moved yet again to a house that we purchased. We were in a rental and we still didn't have a lot of our things unboxed, and we had some stuff in storage. We still have 2 storage facilities that we are renting. Most of the things that's left in there are my husband's, and he is waiting on a building that he is going to eventually buy. He can't decide what he wants exactly, the size. And then also we have a building that came with our house and it's small. He wants to take it to his mom's and can't figure out how to do it. And so I think he has finally decided the only way that he can do that is he's going to have to basically take the building apart and then put it back together at her house. I suggested that he just keep that building here at our house, and then I would convert it over into a little reading nook for Paige and myself. And he didn't really like that idea very much. But one reason he says if we decided to do that, then we would want to have it, heated and cooled. But I told him that we could either get a mini split or just even get a small window unit that, was AC and heat. That's all that we would need. And he said that would just cost too much in heating and AC, because he knew that we would have to have it, and that he really just didn't want to do it. So I even told him, I said, I'll even pay for the heating and AC. And then he did state that it would take up a lot of space in the backyard, and our backyard's really small. So I'd want Molly to have as much room in the backyard where she can run. And so I thought, well, yeah, he's right. And we really don't need it. We have an extra, like a bonus room that it's not really a basement, but it's on like the ground level, and it goes into our garage. It's heated and it's cooled, and so that is my area, my craft room. And then Paige has her own extra bedroom that she has her books in. So we really don't need it. I just saw something that was on Instagram, and she had a she shed that she turned into a little library nook. And so it had me thinking, but he's right. We don't need that space. So I think that he's going to be working on that. But I just kind of went off into a squirrel moment here, but anyway, we have just been working on the house, trying to get it to where we want everything. And once I got everything cleaned up, I've been wanting to work in Paige's library. And that's why I got off on the tangent of the extra space. But that room was a mess. Pretty much while we were getting everything together with our new house, it's been kind of a dumping ground, to be honest. The floor, you couldn't even walk in there. We had suitcases in there, and we had some other boxes, those boxes were, and some winter clothes and just different things that I wasn't sure what to do with. So in the meantime, I had put them in Paige's library room, and that was a mess. And I was determined that was one of my big projects that I wanted to do once I had gotten everything unboxed. And so I spent the day just cleaning and doing different things on Saturday. I did get to do a little bit of diamond painting on Saturday. And then on Sunday, I got up and we watched church online, because our church is in the process of adding additional space. And so some Sundays we are having online church, and then some we are meeting at a high school. So it was online. So I watched church, and then after that was over, I decided I'm going to tackle her library room. And she was still asleep. So I thought this would be a good time too, because I wanted to go in there. She had some old toys and games and things that we had boxed up, and I wanted to figure out what to do with that. And so it's easier just for me to do it than for Paige to try to help on certain things. So it didn't take me as long as I thought that it was going to, and it actually looks pretty good. I got everything out of the floor. I rearranged in there. So it is a cute room now. I do want to get a reading chair to put in there. I was debating between having a twin bed or a trundle bed. or even a day bed to put in there in case someone spent the night. Right now, we don't have a place for anybody to sleep. And I can't decide what I want to do yet. So that's why I haven't really bought a chair or anything, any kind of furniture in there other than bookshelves. All of Paige's books are up, and she's running out of space already on her bookshelves, and she has 4 large bookshelves. So she does have some dolls and animals, stuffed animals on 2 of the shelves, so I'm going to be able to rearrange that. And it's looking more like home. I have not hung any pictures up yet. I haven't put any mirrors or anything like that. That's going to be one of the last things that I do. So now I can mark that off my list, and she is really happy because she can go in there and she can find things in her library, and she can go straight to her books instead of going over boxes and different things. So I do feel good about that. And then also Madison's cat, Lucy, may spend a couple of days with us. And if she does, I am not sure how our cat is going to do, because we did not have her the last time that Lucy was here. Madison hasn't even seen our cat. So she is, a fairly new addition to our family. And I didn't know if I was going to have to keep Lucy separated from Abby. And so I want to make sure that room is clean so there's nothing on the floor for her. So we'll see. Our cat is used to other cats, but she hasn't been around any since October. And the cats that she was around were basically her siblings and other kittens that was at the shelter that they had in the catacomb. So hopefully we won't have to keep Lucy locked up, but Lucy's one of those cats that she doesn't care. I think she'd rather be locked up in a small space than to have extra room to roam. She's a little skittish, but she's usually fine around other animals. So we'll see how she does first with Abby. And then when we go off somewhere, if we do, and Lucy's here, then we will definitely put her in that room. I don't want to have to put her in a small crate. And so she'll be fine in Paige's library. So that was one of the reasons, too, I wanted to get that done just in case that she does stay. So now that's done. And then my next project for our house is going to be working on my craft room some more. That's going to take some time. I had it looking pretty good, and then I brought some more boxes and things in. And so now I've just got to figure out where I'm going to put some of these things. And we did downsize, and I'm loving the fact that we did decide to downsize. I actually was able to talk my husband into downsizing. I was all for it. He wasn't really sure at first, but now he loves it because there's less to do. He has his weekends back for the most part. We do have some yard work that we've got to get done, but it has been so hot here and the humidity has been so bad that we really can't get out and do anything. I want to work a little bit on some flower beds that we have, that I will plant some flowers next year, but it has started to get some weeds and it's right in the front of the house. And so I really want to get out there and work on that, but it's just too hot. Even early in the morning at 8 o'clock yesterday, it was in the 90s already. And then the humidity is just tough. It has been messing havoc with my allergies and Paige's, and now Paige is starting to feel bad. And I'm like, you can't feel bad because Madison is going to be here on Friday, and they are going to be going out with their dad to celebrate both of their birthdays. Paige's birthday is next week, and he's going to be out of town, and so they want to go ahead and celebrate the day that Madison comes in, which is going to be on Friday. And so I told Paige, you're going to have to make sure that you're okay. Even though it's only allergies, you cannot be around Madison because of the baby. And you're going to have to take care of yourself this week so that you are okay and your allergies aren't flared up and you can go out. And so she agreed. So she's been staying in quite a bit just to be on the safe side. Let's see, the next color I need is 34. I never do my bottles like this. I usually put the stickers on my bottles, and I have them by alpha and numeric, and then by symbol. But this kit did not have any stickers, and it could be that I have lost the stickers since I've had this for so long. I've opened it, but also if I did have the stickers, they were the ones that were very small. They were not pre-cut. And yeah, I could have ran them through my Xyron and did all of that, but I'm not really sure where the stickers are. I do have a book where I've put all of my stickers in for my older canvases from Diamond Art Club, and I had those still packed whenever I started working on this canvas. And so I said, you know what, I'm not going to worry about it. There's not that many colors. This, even though it's a large canvas, it should go fairly quickly if I stick with it. And I have started adding some more whips to my rotation. And so now it's going to take me longer, but still I know where all of these are by now pretty much, which has been kind of fun. But I'm hoping I can get this finished. I don't really have an end date in mind on this one. Some of the ones that I'm working on I do, but I don't really have an end date on this one, so I'm not going to worry about it. If I do find the stickers, because I have found my books now, if I do get the stickers, I'm not going to change it out. I'm just going to leave it like it is. And it really hasn't been that bad using numbers. I've not done that before. I don't think I will make it a practice into doing this, but I see now that I could if I really wanted to. And it didn't take as long to kit up either. And I don't know if I'm going to keep these drills because they are older. There's been a lot of trash. But it just makes me appreciate, when I go back to a newer Diamond Art Club, makes me appreciate it even more of changes that have been made. I will have a complete review on this one once it's done, but who knows when that'll be. I've been just so busy, and I do apologize that I have not had as many videos out. Last week, I only got one out, and that was my whip and chat. I want to have at least 2. I was going for 3 a week, and I'm thinking that 2 is sufficient with the way that I diamond paint, and then with the way of certain videos that I like to do. I don't want to just make up something just so I'll have content. I definitely don't want to do that, but I had plans for last week and it just didn't happen. It's like it is the weekend and then it is Thursday. It seems like it's like, okay, where did all my days go? And part of it has been trying to get our house in order. I want to get as much done as I can because I know that once Madison has the baby, then I've been told by several of you, and then also by some of my friends that are grandparents, that my life is definitely going to change when the grandbaby arrives, and especially with Madison and Kyle moving closer. And so I'm trying to get things done around my house that needs to be done, and that I think really needs to be taken care of before the end of the year. So I'm working on that as much as I possibly can. And then also work has been just super busy. We are already going into our final exams this week at work. And then our fall starts the middle of August. And I am working on my classes. I am updating all of mine, doing major revisions on all of my classes for the fall. We have changed textbooks, and I like to do a refresh in the fall anyway. But since we've changed textbooks, now is a perfect time to go ahead and do a full revamp. And that's going to take a long time. I've been working on that. I've also been doing some other projects at work. I am on a committee that's going to help with training on new faculty that's coming in, and we've been having meetings for that. I have my assignment for the first meeting that we're going to have with new faculty. And so I've been working on that, trying to decide what I need to do. I have PowerPoint slides I have to do. So I'm preparing for that. We've had extra meetings on different other things that I am on the committee for. And then I've got to get ready for competitions, trying to enroll students into the organization that I am a mentor and advisor for. So it has been pretty busy. And then, just life basically. And so I just have been not as productive with videos as I can be. And I really like to have more than just whip and chats. And so today's whip and chat, when it goes out on Tuesday, it is back to back with last week's whip and chat. And I do like to have a break in between there. I had planned on over the weekend getting an unboxing done, and it just didn't happen. I did not take time to do it. And then whenever I wanted to do it, there was something going on with our neighbors either working out in their yard or mowing their yard. And I tried to do it early in the morning. Every time I sat down to record, there would be some kind of noise. I'm like, how are you people able to get out there and work in your yard in the heat of the day? And they were out there. I guess they're younger than us, possibly, or maybe they can handle the heat. Even my husband, who used to work out in the heat every day for years and years, and then on the weekends, he would be out in our yard all weekend long doing things in the yard. He cannot even handle the heat anymore, and he even mentioned yesterday, he's like, it's just awful getting older. I know that I can feel it because I can't stay out in the heat like I normally could. Because he had some things at work that he was having to do, and he came home and he had the worst headache. He was just really red, and he had to go and take a shower, change clothes. It was so bad. And he said, I'm not doing that again. And I could tell he did not feel good. And I said, you should not be out there like that. And I was hoping he was taking lots of breaks, but he said it's even worse because he was having to, move things around. And he said that made it worse because the equipment that they were using, he said, you were right on the engine. And so he said that made it even hotter. because the motor was super hot. And so I felt really bad for him because he was just burning up, and it took him several hours to cool down once he got home. And I'll just be so glad when all of that's done for him at work. They're just making a lot of changes and doing a lot of different things. They need more space, and they're having to move some things around in one of the areas that he does inventory for, which I didn't think that should have been part of his job, but he said unfortunately his boss told him that he had to do it. He'll be done, I think, on Thursday. One of our neighbors was outside and just slammed a car or a truck door, got Molly all excited. She started barking, so I had to stop for a minute just to get her to calm down. She used to not do that, but now she barks at just about anything, especially if it's just Paige and I at home and my husband's not here. And if I'm not home, she will bark at the wind with Paige. It is time for me to make her annual appointment, and I'm going to talk to them about her anxiety. I've been concerned about her since our last dog passed away, and she has not been the same since. She's actually starting to do better and I've noticed this, which I thought was really funny. It was just kind of odd, but as I mentioned, we've had our cat since October. They have not been best friends or anything, but they're starting to get used to each other. The cat's not as scared of her as she was, and I can understand that because Abby was so tiny when we got her, but she has grown now. She's getting to be a little chunk, and she is starting to interact more with Molly. And they both love to come downstairs into my room. I don't know why, into my craft room, but they both love it. Now, Molly stays down there at night. She prefers to be alone at night, and she's not even locked up. We just have a gate up against the door, and she can go around the gate if she wanted to, but it makes her feel safe. And so that's what she does at night. And when the cat comes down here, Molly waits. She has Abby to go first, and then I going down the stairs, and then Molly will follow me. So it's very clear that Molly, this is my opinion, I don't know anything about dog psychology, obviously, animal psychology, but it's my opinion that Molly does not want to be a leader of a pack. She wants to be a follower. And it was the same way when we had Zoe, is that Molly would do everything after Zoe. Zoe would eat, and then Molly would eat. She would not eat until Zoe ate unless it was at night and Zoe was laying down for the night. And the same thing with going outside. She had Zoe going out first, and then whenever we would call the dogs in, Molly would follow Zoe. So our vet told me last year when I had said that Molly was having some issues, the vet said, well, her entire world has really been disrupted, not just because she lost her best friend and her sister, but the fact that she was used to being the secondary dog, that she had a follower and she followed her pack, which was just the two of them, but that was enough for her. And so now she's having to learn to do everything on her own. And she's always had dogs with her because she was living with her sisters as puppies, and then she came directly to us, and she was always with another dog. So now I think she is starting to treat Abby as the alpha, and that a cat and a dog has come together to form a pact. And so to me, it makes perfect sense, but I'm probably just out there. But I'm going to talk to the vet about it, see what the vet thinks. I'm really curious. We have gone to this vet for years and years, actually 14 to be exact. And it is further, it's close to where we used to live, but I am still going to go there for Molly. For Abby, we have a place that is in a different city, but it's only about 20 minutes from here or so without traffic, and they only have cats. So I thought that was really cool. I went there last year, and I really liked it because they only had cats, no dogs allowed, no other animals, and it just seemed to be a lot easier. And they were all very well versed on cats because that's all that they see. And I was very impressed. And so that's where I'm taking her again. This year, she actually has an appointment on Saturday. So I'm really curious to see what they're going to say about her. Because last year, I just gotten her pretty much when I took her just for a checkup. And so now it's her 1 year checkup since she had had all of her shots. They didn't have to give her any shots or anything. They just did a checkup because she had already had her shots. So now I am just really curious how it's going to be. I'm curious what they're going to say. If they're going to say that she's overweight. My husband says that she's not. He's like, she's still tiny. She is smaller than Salem was. And Salem, they said, was underweight, but they're different types of cats. So I don't know. I'm just really, really curious to see what they're going to say about her, what they're going to think since we've had her now for a while. And so that's going to be on Saturday. That's going to take up some time. And then Madison has her walkthrough on her apartment on Saturday. She is flying in by herself on Friday, very early Friday morning. We were able to get a flight where she is flying straight through, so she doesn't have to worry about the Minnesota ordeal, which I'm really glad for that. I'm glad she's getting on the plane, and then she won't have to worry. And she is bringing 2 suitcases and a couple of carry-ons. My ex-husband is going to meet her at baggage claim on Friday. He's going to pick her up, and he's going to meet her at baggage claim so that way he can get her luggage off the conveyor belt for her. She doesn't have to touch any heavy luggage. And her husband is dropping her off at the airport, and he'll go in with her luggage so she doesn't have to worry about anything heavy. And then she will be home. He is wrapping up everything in South Dakota. He is going to be bringing her car down on the 6th, I believe, of August. So she will not be here, but just a few days without a car. And she will be able to use his if she needs to. He lives about 45 minutes from me, so I'm going to go and get her, and she can stay here during the day if she wants to. She would have preferred to have stayed here, but like I said, we do not have the space right now. Unfortunately, we don't have an extra bed. Since we downsized, we had a 4-bedroom. And actually, if you could count the basement, it could have been a 5th bedroom. So we had quite a bit more space than what we do now. And we got rid of our spare bedroom furniture because we knew we wouldn't need it. And we got rid of that whenever we went to the rental. And so we just don't have a place. She could sleep in Paige's room, but Paige kicks really bad. They could share a bed. I mean, they're sisters. They've done it before. And they don't mind sharing space. But the problem is that Paige is a kicker. When she sleeps, she kicks. And she has always been that way. Ever since, she was a baby. She was that way in utero. She would kick all the time, just constantly. And then when she was a baby, she would kick. We had to make sure that her bed was always up against a wall because we were afraid she was going to fall out of bed. Well, she's gotten over that part, but she still kicks. And she's asleep. She doesn't mean to. And Paige told me that she didn't feel comfortable with Madison sleeping with her. She's afraid that she's going to kick her. And Madison said, I can sleep far enough away from her. I think it'd be okay, if we decided to do that. And I said, the way that she does kick, she moves. She moves around at night. And so we were just really worried and thought that's not a really good idea. I don't want to put Paige on the floor. Paige just cannot sleep on a blow-up bed. We've tried that, and Madison said that she didn't want her sister to do that. Her dad has extra space. It's just the two of them. They have 3 extra rooms, and so 2 have beds in them. One that he had fixed up when Madison was younger for her when she would go and stay with him, when the kids would stay over there a short time. And so she's just going to stay over at his place. We don't even have a couch because we had a couch that slept okay. It was a comfortable couch to sit on, but it wasn't very comfortable to stretch out and watch TV or to sleep on. And that pretty much became Salem's scratching post. She did not scratch on anything except for that couch. I don't know what it was about the couch, but as soon as we got it, she started scratching on it, and it was only 2 or 3 years old that we had that couch, but it looked so bad, and we thought we could repair it. We didn't pay that much for the couch, and it was going to cost more to repair it than it was to buy another one. And so we decided, okay, we're just going to go ahead and get rid of it, which we did before we moved into our rental. And so we've just made do with chairs. We have 2 really nice recliners. Paige is never in the living room with us, but when she is on those very rare occasions to watch TV or a movie with us, I do have another chair that we had that I kept, and these are just chairs. They're not chase lounges or anything. You can't really lay on them, so that wasn't going to work. And I'm not ready to buy another couch yet. We are going to, but my husband is thinking about part of the garage making into just a den area for watching movies or anything like that. And if someone comes to the house, we can sit in our upstairs living room. And so at that point, I am going to get a couch for the living room. I'm going to get something, I think, that pulls out. If I can find something that's comfortable and that will fit, because it is a small space. And then whenever we want to use a fireplace, we'll be upstairs. Whenever we do want to watch TV, on those rare occasions that we do watch TV, then we can go downstairs. So we have options for the future, but it's not going to happen at this point in time. We've got other large projects that my husband is on his list to do for the house first before we even think about doing anything to the garage. We're not going to use the garage as a place for our cars because the way the garage is made, it's just not really conducive for all the vehicles that we also have, because my husband has a work truck as well. So we're doing things around the house. We are slowly but surely getting it done. I do want to show you guys my space. I'm really looking forward to that, but I got to get it cleaned up first. And I want to also have some diamond paintings on the wall, which I do have one. I have my dragon seasons, but I just have it up there. It doesn't look that great the way that I have it. I just have it basically using push pins for now. It is so large that I'm not going to be able to get a frame for it. My husband says he can build something for me, some kind of frame, whenever he gets a chance, which that's going to be a while. But it looks good because it's up there, but I want to have some framed diamond paintings up as well. And I've got to get it straightened out. I've got still a lot of scrapbooking materials, supplies that I need to still go through. I am rethinking about my cards and my card group for church. I've been doing it now for 8 years. And I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired of just working on a lot of cards all the time. I feel like I'm doing the same cards over and over. And I don't know if I'm going to keep doing that. So I can get rid of more stamps if I decide that I'm going to make cards, but they're not going to be in high batch volume like I've been doing. So that will also free up some space. And honestly, I'm just getting tired of doing it. And when I sit down into my craft room, I want to diamond paint. I don't want to make cards. I'm like, I'm ready to diamond paint. And so I do that. And if I really decide, I'm not going to stop making cards. And I still like my Bible journaling. A lot of what I have, I can use for that. And then also I like making junk journals. So I'm not getting rid of everything, but I'm going to start rethinking what I really want to keep. I have donated a lot of cards and card stock, and then also a lot of paper that I'll never use. And I'm not scrapbooking again. Even for baby C, I am going to do digital, if I even do that. Madison wants me to. She wants me to start a scrapbook for the baby. And I said, I'll do it, but it's not going to be like your scrapbooks. When she comes home, every time she comes home, she likes to go through the old scrapbooks. And she's like, wow, looking at one year compared to another year, it looks really different. And I said, yeah, I grew as a scrapbooker. And different, methods came out, different supplies, and yeah, it does look different. But I'm not going to go back and change it so they all look the same. I like seeing my progress. And then also, I'm not going to spend time going through. But that is another big project. And I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. So if any of you have scrapbooked in the past and you don't scrapbook anymore, and you have decided to do something different, I've got so many books. Some of them are duplicates. I am missing some periods of time, especially on Paige's book. I just got so busy having 2 young kids that hers kind of suffered a little bit. I am going to eventually get all the scrapbooks out. I'm going to see what I'm missing, and then I'm going to create some digital pages, and then I'm going to incorporate those digital pages into their books. But I do have some that I don't think I need as many pages as I did. Whenever Madison was born, we should get a new outfit. I changed her into that outfit, and I would take a picture of her. And then when she was first born, I took a picture of everything. Oh, look, she's awake. Photo op. Oh, look, I had to change her gown. we have a new gown, photo op. I mean, I was just, a young mom. I was excited. And actually, I wasn't a young mom. I was older, an older mom, because it took me a long time to have my kids. And I just took pictures all the time. Then when she started sitting up, I'm like, oh, look at this little pose, photo op. So she has got so many pictures that doesn't tell a story. It just shows that, hey, she's got a new outfit. Or we tried on this outfit because she had gotten tons of outfits when she was born from different people, from all my showers and everything. And I need to go through and clean all of those up. That way I can have a space. I don't know where I'm even going to put these albums. They have been stuck in a basement for a long time. And, what's the point in having albums if they're just stuck in a basement or they are stuck in a box? Right now, they're in a box. They've been in a box for a while. So I need to find a place for them. My husband says that he can put them out right outside of my craft room. So it's heated and, AC and everything. It's not going to be a problem, if they get wet. I do want to take some photos of my pages, and then I'm going to convert those into digital, I think. But not, I'm just going to keep them on a flash drive or keep them on an external drive. So that way if something happens, I will have photos from back in the day. I have a lot of duplicates that are in boxes. So that is going to be a huge project. And every year in January, I say that I am going to work on this project, that I'm going to get everything out and just start on it and use some of my supplies and then get rid of some of the supplies once I'm done. But every summer comes and goes and I don't do it. This year I didn't even make it into an option because I knew that I wouldn't get to it. And I don't have the space right now to even think about that, of being able to put everything on the floor and just to go through and say, okay, I'm going to start on this year. I'm going to pull all the things for this year. I'm going to do an album for Madison for high school, because I'm missing some high school, pretty much stopped with her at 9th grade. So that's another big project. And then before I do that, though, I am going to focus on my diamond painting storage. How many diamond paintings that I have. I'm going to go through and redo my spreadsheet that I have. And then also I'm going to do like an inventory system. I know what I want to do. I have purchased some stickers for an inventory system. I know where I'm going to put them, but I got to go through that, and that's going to take a long time too. I don't even know, honestly. I know about how many that I have, but I did not keep up very well with my spreadsheet. I have some in there. I have some that are missing. I'm also using Jim's Flow, but I've really gotten behind on what's on Jim's Flow, what's not. And I want to also do another D-stash. After I started working on this one, I still have quite a few older kits, and I am going to, I love the image, but the improvement now is just night and day. I mean, it is just, I'm not going to get rid of my princess ones that I have left to do. That's something I'm definitely going to keep. But I want to go through all of my diamond paintings, and I have some that I've never even unboxed. I just hope that what's in there is what's supposed to be in there and I'm not missing anything. but I want to go through, I'm going to catalog everything. I'm going to go through each one. I'm going to open the boxes, and then I'm going to decide, is this something that I really, really want to do? Or am I just hanging on to it for nostalgic purposes? And then if I decide that I am going to do a D-stash, then I will let you guys know first, give you an opportunity to either purchase or just to pay for shipping. I don't know yet what I'm doing. It is going to take me a while, but I am really excited to get started on that. I am hoping that I can do that this fall. But then whenever I start thinking about, yeah, I could go and start working on this for a little bit, then it's like, oh, but I want to diamond paint. And so all of the administrative things that I want and that I need to do, which I should have kept up with it, and this wouldn't be a problem, but that I want to do is going to take time away from diamond painting. And yeah, you know, I know that. And I hate that because when I come up here, come down here to diamond paint, I want to diamond paint. I don't want to have to do that. But if I do just a few at a time and then know where I stopped and where to start up again, then I think I'll be okay. I really want to have that done before the first of the year, because I can't really make goals for next year, goals that I think are quality goals and that I am able to achieve or come close to achieving when I don't even know what I have. So that's something that I really, really need to work on. So that's definitely in the pipeline. I do have so many whips that I'm going to have. I've got several now. I have 6. And that may seem like a lot to a lot of you, but honestly, for me, it's not that much. I've had more than that in the past. I just opened another section. So we are just going to continue for just a little bit. I'm moving this around just a little. And I'm using my light pad. It looks like there's a lot of gaps. There's not when the light pad's off, which it does drive me a little crazy, but I do need the light pad on to see this. I am going to be adding more whips. I am going to be participating in the Cheryl Baker event in August. And I wasn't going to participate in any events. I have done the Cheryl Baker event. This is the 3rd year, I believe. I did it from the start. And I have, it must be the 3rd because I've completed 2. I've completed the Scarecrow from Craftably last year. That was so much fun to do. And then I also completed one other one. I cannot remember the name of it, but it was from Diamond Art Club. And I completed that one. So I went looking. I have 2 in my stash. One, I know I have it because I remember seeing it. And then I went to look for it, and it's where right now where I have my diamond painting stored, it's hard to find anything. And so I couldn't find, I think it was called Garnock, could not find that one. And that one was Diamond Art Club. It is smaller. So I have another one from the one with the diamond art, and that one is Miss Tittles. And I think it's a rabbit maybe. And that one's huge. Of course it is. If you've been around any time on my channel, almost everything I do is huge. But I like larger canvases, but then I complain because I don't have any finishes. I mean, you know, go figure. If I did smaller ones, I could get them done faster. But I just like the rendering of larger canvases. I just can't help it. That's just my thing. So that one I was really hesitating on, and one of my sweet subscribers sent a message posted underneath comments on, I believe it was last week's Whip and Chat. and said that she had done that one and that it goes fast. Even though it's large, it goes pretty quickly. So I decided, went ahead and unboxed it, was looking at it, and I'm like, oh, this looks like it's gonna be a lot of confetti, but maybe not. So I am going to go ahead and kit that one up. That will be my new start for August. Try to see how much I can get done on that one during the event. I'm doing the event unofficially. Cindy is a dear friend of mine that I met her through the community, and she is doing this on her Facebook page, and I'll put that information down below. And if I forget to put it, somebody just yell at me, tell me you didn't do it and you said you're going to. So I'll put that down. No new starts required, no finish. She is very chill on her requirements, but I'm just doing it to support her and my love for Cheryl Baker. So I'll be doing that one and seeing how much I can get done on that one. It is the new start. Well, no, I can't say that. It's a new start where I haven't even kitted it up yet, but I haven't put any drills on there. So it's going to be a new start. I can always put that whip up after her event and then get it out next year if I want to, or get it out at a later time. Or if I really love it, I'll just keep working on it until it's done eventually. But I also am working on my passion project, and I've kitted up one of those, and that is Sleeps with Butterflies. And I have not kitted up Hades and Persephone yet. I unboxed both of those with you guys, told you that was going to be a passion project. I've been talking about it. I have not laid any drills on either canvas. I do want to start on that in August as well. So I guess that would be considered 3 new starts, because I'm not counting them in my whips yet, since I have not put any drills on it. But once I put that first drill on there, then they are going to be considered whips. And then I will start in September on my event canvases. I'll be working on 2. I am still waiting on my canvas from the one with the diamond art. I need to check on that and see. But it takes time. It's also one that is going to be a limited release, so it had not even been available yet. So hopefully that one will come in. And so September I will have 2 on the Finera event. I am going to be doing a video on that one soon on the event, but I haven't yet because I really wanted that canvas to come in. So I'm waiting to the last minute on the event. On the video on that one, I may have to just go ahead and do it without the event actual canvas, but I can show you what it looks like because I have a picture of it, but that's all I could do. So that's something that I'll be starting in September. And I do plan on having videos coming out this week. I've got to get back on track on that. That is something, I love my channel, and I don't want to just let it go and not have videos every week. So hopefully I will be in a good place this week. I don't really have anything during the week as of right now that I have to go to except to work. So maybe I can get them in early morning before I start working. That is the plan. So hopefully that will happen. And then I will have my end of month reviews coming up. So I do have several things I need to video. Maybe I can do it one a day just to get it done, but not post it every day. And then let me know. I am torn on this, guys. I am really, really torn. On my whips, do you want to see monthly on what I've accomplished? Of course, some will have more than others that I have done. Some will not be any changes from the month before, because I just did it in June. But let me know if you would like to just see my whip updates quarterly. And of course, if I do quarterly, some of them will already be finished, but then you will see finishes on them. So it's not like you won't see them. So just let me know what you prefer. In my June month in review, I stated that I'm going to do it quarterly. Now for my higher self, my 16-foot canvas, that one I am going to show you quarterly unless I get a 100 by 100 section finished before the quarterly comes out. So that one I know I'm doing quarterly, but if you would like to see what I've worked on for the month, then I can also do that. I can do that as part of the end of the month video, or I can just wait and do a separate one at the end of the quarter. I follow Queen of Diamonds, and she has a lot of whips, and I just love it because for a long time there was only a couple of us in the community that I know of. I'm sure there was more that had several whips going, and people were like, "You're crazy for doing so many whips. How can you keep up?" And so then I kind of went back to one or two, and then when I saw that Jenna was doing quite a few whips, I'm like, yes, I am so excited. So I watched her channel, saw all of her whips, which I thought was really cool, and she does hers monthly. I think she even does it twice a month. She'll do like a mid-month, and then I think she may do it at the end of the month too. And then Lizette Crafts and Tales, she is starting to do several whips, and she is showing hers quarterly. So I am game for either one. I just don't want to bore you because I may not get a lot done within a month. So let me know what you guys think. I always like to hear your opinions, and if I can, I try to go by what you guys are asking, or if you want anything special, I try my best to do that. And I have gotten quite a bit done on the higher self. That one, though, I have to have everything off of my desk. I have to be flexible on how I am working on it. Another thing with that one is that the way I have the drills kitted up, I have it by color, which is actually going pretty well. But I have to get, 2 or 3 of the flats out of Elizabeth Ward, and I just have to make sure I have the space to work on it. I can't have anything on my desk because that sucker takes up so much space. And it's a lot of color blocking. So you'd think because of all the color blocking that I would get more done, but I get kind of tired of the color blocking. And then I stopped doing that one after a couple of sections, and the sections are pretty big. And then I want to go to something with more color blocking or more confetti. And so that's when I will turn to My Last Supper by Jaded Gem Shop. That one is confetti. And then also J-Wall. If I get really tired of working on my higher self, but I want to go back to it, I just want to take a break from all the color blocking, I will get out my Josephine Wall, do a couple of sections of that, then I go back to the higher self, and let me tell you, I am ready for it. I am ready for that color blocking. So those two work really well together. Okay, I think I have really gone over life updates. Nothing else has really happened. It's just been, a busy week for all of us. And then I mentioned my husband, mentioned Paige. She is just working and doing things around the house. She's enjoying her summer. She's reading a lot. We have not gone to our community pool yet. She wants to do that. And so I told her last week, oh, we could do that on Monday because I don't have any meetings. We can go Monday afternoon. And then I couldn't go Monday because Monday got really busy. And so I told her, okay, we'll go maybe Tuesday. And it's supposed to rain the rest of the week. And it looks really dark and dreary out today. School starts back here on Friday. I just am flabbergasted that school is starting back, but it will be August 1st on Friday. And I remember that the last couple of years that Paige was in school, they started going on the 1st. So she always hated it because she had to go to school on her birthday. So now she doesn't have to do that, but the buses are doing their practice runs. Saw that yesterday. It is actually Tuesday morning when I am finishing this up, and the buses are doing their practice run. And I never have understood this, but people are telling me that they're having to spend all this money on school clothes. There was a lady that was on Instagram that I don't follow, but it just popped up. She spent over $500 on school supplies for 3 kids, 3 teenagers, and then they spent over $800 plus on back to school clothes. And I would buy my kids back to school clothes too, a couple of outfits or whatever. But to me, it's like, okay, you hadn't been out of school that long. You've only been out of school for a couple of months, but yet you got to spend all this money on clothes. And I get that you're going to have to buy new winter clothes probably because, your kids have grown or whatever. But to me, it's like, okay, but you hadn't been out of school but just a couple of months. And, I get the kids grow. Obviously, mine did too. But I never spent that much money on back to school. They always wanted new outfits and that kind of thing. And I always did that. But I would see on winter clothes what they could still wear before I started buying a bunch of things. And they're having some really big sales too. So, I get it. And I also get that school supplies are expensive, especially when you get in middle and high school where you have different teachers, that each teacher wants something different. They don't want other subjects in, said notebook that you have to pay a fortune for. They want specific things. And I did spend a small fortune when my kids were in school on school supplies, especially when they went from a very small private school to public. The first year, it hit me in the face on how much that I had to pay for school supplies. It was rough. And every year, my kids wanted a new backpack. And every year, I'd get them a new one. And then my husband's like, why would you buy them a new backpack every year? Their backpacks still look really good, and they don't really need one. I said, yeah, but that's kind of like, to me, I would think of buying a new backpack as you're moving up into another grade, and you should get a new backpack because, you made it to another grade, and maybe, you don't like what you had before. And Madison's backpacks would always get rough in high school, but Paige's never did. She still has 2 or 3 of them left from high school. I'm like, you need to look and see what you really want. We don't need, actually she had more than that. We don't need all these backpacks. I think she ended up keeping 2 or 3, and she had 5 or 6 at least. But my kids love bags. And I have a feeling that I love bags too. So I have a feeling that baby C is going to love bags. So I know now my time is starting all over again because I know I'm going to be buying a lot of things for her. So that's going to be fun when she starts kindergarten. It's probably going to be really sad. I'm already thinking way ahead. Way, way ahead. considering she's not even born yet. I'm going to finish up this 310. I hope that you were able to get something done if you wanted to, or if you just wanted to relax and listen to a friend. That's what I am here for. I couldn't sleep last night, and that's what I did. I tuned in to a couple of diamond painters I really like to listen to, and it helped relax me, and I fell asleep. I didn't fall asleep because they were boring or anything. I fell asleep because it was just relaxing. And it's just like, okay, I am listening to an old friend. I feel safe. I feel loved. And therefore, I fell asleep lately. So I may do that again tonight. All right, I am going to stop here. I am getting closer to the end of her dress. I have the row that I have just started, which is the one with you guys, which I'll probably get done today. And then I have one more row. And then once I get that row finished, I will be at the top of her dress and going into her skin tone, which I'm really looking forward to seeing how that's going to look. I'm going to turn the light pad off. Those of you that are interested in one of these older ones, I'm going to bring it out a little bit. See, bringing it out, it looks pretty good. But some of these people are paying $200 and $300 for these older paintings. And honestly, I just can't see it. I would love to have the others so I have a set, but I just cannot see me spending that kind of money on any painting that's older or from a D-stash, but especially one that's older. I just couldn't do it. But I think she's gorgeous. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind clicking on that like button before you leave, that also helps my channel immensely. If you're not a subscriber, I would love to have you. Just click on that subscribe button. It is totally free. And until next time, happy diamond painting. Bye.